Hello, hello. It is that time. We're going to find out what card you chose. We're going to take a look. We're going to break down each card one by one first, and then we're going to put it all back together at the end. So make sure you stick around to the end, because although your dominant card for the next couple of weeks is going to be the card that you chose, it's going to be relevant to hear the whole story, because that applies, and then, it'll double click on the card that you chose. So let's take a look. If you chose card number 1, you chose Plant Nation, Herbal Medicine. If you chose this card, you are likely already thinking about or being encouraged to focus on the natural side of things. So in terms of medicine, in terms of procedures that you maybe will be looking towards for healing or peace or relaxation, whatever this is, you're being asked to consider something on the natural side of things rather than something that's manufactured. So, of course, I'm not telling you, if you're taking medicine, stop taking medicine. That's not what this is. I am not a doctor. However, this card's encouraging you to do some homework. Maybe you're feeling a little under the weather, and maybe, you're going to look for ways that are maybe going to be increasing your energy or increasing your mental health. Maybe there'll be habits that you'll want to start and bring in that are going to help you to feel better without looking at the manufactured side of things. So, take a look. If this card resonates with you, you might start doing some research about some things and see what's going to work for you. This might even be about what you need to take out. I mean, for example, if you're not feeling well, maybe you might start, I don't know, taking out grains or lactose items and just see how you feel. Maybe it's something you need to take out of your space to see how you feel affected. So, play around with that. Do some research if that card resonates with you and that's the one that you chose. If you chose card number 2, you chose All My Relations, Interconnectedness. So if you chose this card, this really is about evaluating the bigger picture. So, although, we'll have connections with people one-on-one every day, probably, this is asking you to consider the bigger picture. Not only considering who you're connected to in this space, in this time, in this moment, but how does everything fit together? You're also being asked at this time, if you chose this card, to not be afraid to take a leadership role, to lead by example. What is a way that we want to treat people? How do we want to be treated? All of those fun things in life. So, if you chose this card, you might be being asked to lead by example. So that's quite interesting. If you chose card number 3, Sweetgrass Sacred Medicine. This is about strength. So if you chose this card, you're being asked to tune into your inner strength. You are stronger than you think. This is not asking you to do the impossible or, anything like this. But when we talk about this, when I talk about sweetgrass, I often think about our ancestors and about, the blessings that burning sweetgrass brings in. This card reminds you that you are not alone, right? Sometimes we go through periods of life where we feel like we're doing it all by ourselves. We feel like, we've got no support. We feel like, nobody's listening. Nobody hears us. This card is bringing in blessings, encouragement. It's bringing in all of those things. And most importantly, it's bringing in the reminder that you are not doing any of these things alone. Spirit is on your side. You've got spirit connection. You've got support. And just take a deep breath and tune into that energy. If I could imagine that I was being supportive, what would that look like? Start there. Sometimes it just takes our imagination to get us out of our own heads. So take some deep breaths and just see how that feels. You may even be receiving downloads or even dreaming over the next couple of weeks. Pay attention, jot it down, make a journal, make a list about the dreams. What was in the dreams? How did I feel? What were the important highlights in the dream? Take note of that and see if that resonates with what's going on in your space right now, or if it's just maybe some sort of other meaning that's going to come up for you. If you journal these things, it can often make sense down the road when you go back and take a look. So interesting. If you chose card number 4, you chose Spring, New Beginnings. So if you chose this card, there's some newness on the horizon. Either you're contemplating changing or feeling restless or wondering, what is going to be the next chapter for me. This could be, and perfect timing, of course, I have to say, as we're ending one year and getting ready to move into the next year. This is perfect timing for a New Beginnings card. So, write down your goals, make them real. It's okay to dream big, but don't be too stuck on what the details are. Allow yourself to express what is bubbling up in your heart and in your mind, and just allow those ideas to flow onto paper. If you don't know the direction you want to go, but maybe you're feeling a little like something's got to change, or I want to introduce something new and exciting. So whatever this is, just, let it come to life in the way that it's going to, and then just focus on it. Just be like, okay, this is what I want to happen. Focus on it, move towards it. What happens? We set a goal, and then each step we take gets us there. So, you don't have to get there overnight, but try to set a goal with manageable expectations and just keep moving forward. Sounds exciting. All right, let's put all these cards together and see as a collective what's the energy that we're going to be dealing with. Of course, keep in the back of your mind the card that you chose, because that's the most dominant energy for you over the next couple of weeks. So all of us are being encouraged to tune into the nature side of things, the natural things that are around us, that are available to us, things that come from the earth. This might be cleaning up our diet. This might be, cleaning up some self-care habits. Whatever this is, this card is encouraging us to take care of ourselves and our people around us in a way that is just being amplified by nature, right? Instead of video games, instead of, processed foods, instead of, I don't know, anything that's manufactured. This is encouraging all of us to turn to nature, whether it be yoga, whether it be meditation, whether it be, eating more fruits and vegetables. Whatever this is, this card is saying nature first. So that's interesting, right? This is supported by asking us to see the bigger picture. So although we're being encouraged to tune into Mother Nature, this is all about respect. This is all about Gratitude, this is about seeing the bigger picture. How does one thing affect the other? We're just being asked really to pay attention over this next couple of weeks, and just be very mindful about everything that's coming in around and about us and for us. So interesting. This is saying just be strong. You are not alone. Right? The more we are together, here's another interesting connection I'm going to give you. The more we're connected, supportive to one another, the better off we are. Here's the other thing. If we look at these three cards together, literally, this card is saying that if we turn to nature with the bigger picture, it's going to help us feel stronger. So here's the thing, where I am in Canada, it's flu season right now. There's a lot of people going through flu, illness, whatever is going on out there. But this is saying, like, take care of yourself, because it's going to help build that immunity, build that defense, build what it is that you need to stay strong and healthy. Pretty cool. The other card, the last card, is new beginnings. Allow it to come in. So whatever you're working on in your space right now, see the big picture. Keep the strength in there. Hang in there. You've got this. Tune into supports that you need. But this is saying there's new beginnings coming. And it all starts with self-care, with, mindful behaviors, anything that's going to help you feel more connected to you and your people and your group is going to help you in this time. And it's going to bring you to a new understanding in some way, some shape, or form. Of course, we are coming into a new year. So for some of you, this might mean setting goals, setting intentions for the new year coming up. So that's really, really, really cool. I think these cards have great timing. So enjoy the next couple of weeks ahead. Comment below. Let me know, how does this energy fit for you? What is going on in your life right now that these cards are pointing to? Are you trying to make better choices? Are you, maybe struggling with something that needs to go? Whatever it is, let me know. If you feel comfortable sharing, let me know what's going on in your space. And we'll meet again in another couple weeks. Take care and bye for now, guys.